Start on 9.
Yeah, you can start
All right,
on that.
chapter 9. Jesus attended a feast in Bihar, and here he taught human equality.
Mm-mm.
1. The fame of Jesus as a teacher spread through all the land, and people came from near and far to hear his words of truth. Just look what truth will do alone.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
At Bihar, on the sacred river of Brahm, he taught for many days. 3. And Ace, a wealth man of Bihar, made a feast in honor of his guests, and he invited everyone to come. 4. And many came, among them thieves, goodness gracious, extortioners, and courtesans. And Jesus sat with them and taught, but they who followed him were much aggrieved, because he sat with thieves and contestants. And they upbraided him. They said, Rabbi, Master of the wise, this day will be an evil day for you. Goodness gracious.
See, and that's just so key. Because that word rabbi is that word morab, which is a holy name of our divine creator. And when they refer to Rabbah or Morabah or Rabboni, they put master of the wise. Meaning he a master of the teachings or the knowledge of Allah. I self-law and am master of self. I Sufyan loves Allah's majesty, magnificence. This is what is given to us to understand as codes. It's a reason why they use these words, rabbi and rabboni, in these texts and the way they're using them. As I return to peace.
The news 6, the news will spread that you consort with conscience, and men will shun you as they shun and accept. 7, and Jesus answered them and said, a master never streams himself for sake of reputation or of fame. These are but worthless baubles of the day. They arise and sink like empty balls on a stream. They are illusions and will pass away. 9, they are the indice to what the thoughtless think. They are the noise that people make. And shallow men judge merit by the noise. 10, Allah and all master men judge men by what they are, and not by what they seem to be, nor by their reputation and their fame.
See, that's very key right there. All masters of self and Allah judge men by what they are. not what they seem to be. See, it's like what the Sufyan said. The ultimate truth is death. And death will separate you from what you possess, leaving what you are. A master of self judge men by what they are. And we just brought that into perspective about all men, women are Allah. So when we're talking about what you are, that's what you are. And to do anything contrary to that is the Noah. It's called ignorance. The thoughtless think. See what it said? The thoughtless can think. This is why you have to be careful, because the thoughtless can think. But you will know it because it's noise or ignorance. And it's not about the cars, it's not about the clothes, it's not about the big homes, the net value, how much money in your pocket, how much money you got. You ain't judging off that. You judging them, do they know who they are? That's a beautiful one.
Alrighty. These contestant and thieves are children of my Father Allah. Their souls are just as precious in His sight as yours are of the Brahmin priests. They lost, but they is, because where breath come from?
Right.
Allah. And don't they have breath? Just like you?
Yes, this is why we saying what we saying. Or why he's saying what he said.
Yeah.
They judging him.
I know it.
Don't people be judged now for what people doing and what all that?
What they doing, yeah.
See, this is the problem that we have, where people get over righteous, where they feel like because someone not doing what they doing, that they not just as precious.
Yeah.
See, it don't matter about that. We're talking about what you are. You looking at Allah, no matter what they doing.
That's right. Whether they come to KOS instead or not.
Or not.
That's right.
It's about who they are. And when they acting contrary to who they are, this is where Jesus is there for. To remind them who they are. He not bashing them. He not joning on them. He not sitting there. He actually defending them. He's saying these people look at them as contesians. That's prostitutes. Then he said thieves. These are stealers. People who you would view as prostitutes and thieves. And he's saying in their defense that they just as precious as the high priest.
That's what he says.
These people sinful, breaking the law, and the person upholding the law, these people are equal.
Yeah.
With all law. See, so no pastor is no different than his congregation. The congregation and the pastor are equals. But we're not taught in that way. We're taught as a hierarchy, chain of being, called chain of command. But we don't understand it's only one in command. Everything else goes around that. Just like you, the only thing real, and everything around you is an illusion, a dream. That's high power right there.
12, and they are working out of the same life song that you have saw, you men who look at them with scorn. And some of them have saw much harder songs than you have saw. You men who look at them with scorn. 14, yes, they are sinners and confess their guilt while you are guilty, but they are assured enough to have a polished coat to cover up your guilt. So 15, suppose you men who scorn the contestants, these drunkards, and these thieves, who know that you are pure in heart and life, that you are better far than they, stand forth that men may know just who you are. Stand forth.
It's beautiful how this is expressed. Because we're talking about the head, which is human equality. No higher, no lower. As the Sufyan says, no greater, no lesser. Not even a prophet may be considered greater or lesser. So this all comparison and analogy is all a word for time. Is all noise on the tongue.
16, the sin lies in the wish, in the desire, not in the act. 17, you covet others people's wealth. You look at charming forms, and deep within your heart you lust for them. 18, deceit you practice every day and wish for gold, for honor, and for fame, just for your selfish selves. 19, the man who covets is a thief, and she who lusts is covetous. You who are none of these, speak out. 20, nobody spoke. The accuser held their peace. 21, and Jesus said, the proof this day is all against those who have accused. 22, the pure in heart do not accuse. The vile in heart, who want to cover up their guilt with holy smoke of piety, are everlasting drunkards, thieves, and courtesans. 23.
That's the big ignorance.
23. This loathing and this scorn is mockery.
It's mockery.
For if the tinsel coat of reputation could be torn away, the lie professor would be found to reveal in his lust, deceit, and many forms of secret sin.
Just the disputations of the hypocrite.
24, the man who spent his time in pulling other people's weeds can have no more time to pull his own. And all the choicest flowers of life will soon be choked and die. And nothing will remain but darnel, thistles, and birds. Hmm? That's true, boy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get out there in that garden with the hoe, because them weeds will choke it and kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the food.
Mm-hmm.
25, and Jesus spoke a parable. He said, behold, a farmer had great fields of ripened grain. And when he looked, he saw that blades of many stalks of wheat were bent and broken down. 26, and when he sent his reaper forth, he said, you will not save the stalks of wheat that have the broken blades. 27, go forth and cut and burn the stalks with broken blades. 28, and after many days he went to measure up his grain, but not a kernel could be found. 28, and after many days he went to measure up his grain, but it could not be found. 29, and then he called the harvesters and said to them, where is my grain? 30, they answered him and said, we did according to your word. We gathered up and burnt the stalks with broken blades, and not a stalk were left to carry to the barn. 31, and Jesus said, if Allah save only those who have no broken blades, who have been perfect in his sight, who will be saved? Mm. No broken blades.
Mm-hmm.
32, and the accuser hung their heads in shame, and Jesus went his way.
Mm-hmm.
Straightened it out, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Through knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
This the caveat. With knowledge.
With knowledge.
All Jesus is doing is knowledge throughout the whole teaching.
That's all it is.
But people ain't catching it.
Yeah.
That it's a knowledge that people want. But what's blocking them is right in this lesson. They pulling up other people weeds.
Yeah.
See, and Jesus don't do that. Jesus say, don't you know I'm about my Father's work? He's telling you about I'm about knowledge of self. And so no other work will he be doing. So when we talking about why is he not pulling up other people weeds? Okay, what are the other people's weeds? Because we know we talking about knowledge, we're not talking about physical you going to go pull up somebody's weeds physically, but it's an analogy to explain a higher reality. That knowledge is what eliminates the darnels, the thistles, and the birds, which are things that cause harm, that hurts. So those are thoughts, words, and deeds. Those three spurs, thistles, and birds, all these things hurt because these are thoughts, words, and deeds. All these thoughts, words, and deeds are physical things like steam, liquid, and ice. So when we doing other people weeds, all we doing is analyzing their thoughts, analyzing their words, analyzing their deeds, but not understanding who they are. And now, when you reverse that engineering and you create now an understanding in why you pulling what's your weeds. Your weeds that you have to pull up is your thoughts, your words, and deeds. These the things that have gotten you choked to the point you about to die. And see, this is where we have to understand how is all this playing out. Sin doesn't begin in the deed. Sin begins in the desire. So a desire is a thought. A thought is a wish. And so you wish to do something sinful. This is why it's saying deceit. Not them, it's saying you. You practice every day. We're not pulling up our own thoughts, words, and deeds, but we think we are. When you pulling up others' thought, words, and deeds, you are wasting your time. These things are coinciding with self. This is about knowledge of self. This is about self to self, not self to others. So all is equal, from the lowest turd to the highest cloud. All is equal. Even turds can produce growth, can produce living things. And even a cloud can produce living rain. So we saying, as above, so below. What's the riddle? That they're both equal. And this is what we have to understand with life, that life is the equality. And the motions or the rhythms you feel is the varieties of life in motion. These beautiful thoughts and spirits in motion. These things really help the one who is self-aware and self-attended. No, that's powerful. We done covered 8 chapters so far. 9. Yeah, we done covered 9 chapters so far. Should be a great deal to reflect upon, to reason with, to contemplate more, to eliminate and pull the weeds of thoughts, words, and deeds, out of your own field. That field being the mind. So you want that mind clean. And so that's the conscious. So we want to understand the unity of it all. This is why all exists. Because nothing could be more insulting to Allah than to speak as if we are born of higher classes and lesser classes instead of one family. This is how life is supposed to be viewed from. We are one. We are of one father. We are of one mother. And those two is all. Those two becoming one is all. And if you don't understand that you got here by a father and a mother, then you do not understand all. But if you understand that you came from a father and a mother, then you understand all. Did not one human not come from one father and one mother? Not two fathers. You won't find that in life. So these things don't exist in reality. One father, one mother. So we have to understand this on a collective, global, don't matter where you at, what nation, that this is the lesson to be learned. As we'll get to a little later, but I wanted to pull it up now because it's deemed fit. That there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So that's the only way man will be redeemed. Him loving himself, him finding the truth of himself, him finding the peace with himself, him having the freedom to choose of himself, and having the justice of life and living. And as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, freedom, justice, and equality. This was the lesson on human equality. And we close in the name of Allah. Our Sufyan Council meeting. Wadu. That was the highest one. 8 views.
8 views? Look at there. Man.
Praise the Lord.
Somebody listening in now.
Somebody beyond Dario.
Got somebody attention. Huh?